Hello financial investors and welcome to the channel. My name is Brent, and in today's video we are going to be doing our stock market weekly recap for the 28th of September through the 2nd of October 2020. With only 2 months remaining in the year, a lot can happen, especially with the elections coming up just a month away. Our current president has contracted the illness, and there's still a massive political thing going on here. But not only that, we also have fires in the Midwest and throughout other areas of the states, and there's a lot going on here in 2020. So we're going to be covering what happened the prior week. We have had a lot of negative weeks going into this positive week. So we'll go ahead and cover the 21st to the 25th, see where it was at, and then we'll cover the 4 main indexes. We'll take a look at the entire S&P 500 performance for this past week, what stocks were up, what stocks were down, what sectors were strong, what sectors were weak. Then we'll take a look at the dollar, the silver, gold, bonds, 10-year rate, and take a look at mortgage rates, because I like to do these on a week-by-week basis to kind of keep track of where the market is going or what it has done during this time frame in the world. What's going on out there, how has it really affected the market, and let's go ahead and get into it. Of course, if you are brand new to my channel, have not yet subscribed, go down below, hit the red button to subscribe, make it gray, hit the bell to be notified every time we release a brand new video, and of course give this video a thumbs up, make it blue, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So the prior week, the only index that was positive was the Nasdaq, and that is because the Nasdaq consists of a lot of tech stocks. If we take a look at some of the biggest tech stocks out there, we'll say the FANG stocks. Amazon was up 4.75%, Netflix 2.75%, Facebook 0.91%, Nvidia 5.62%, Microsoft 3.71%, Apple 5.09%. Those are some of the biggest FANG stocks, and they make up a large portion of both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. But the S&P 500, this is the heat map of the S&P 500, and you can see that there's a lot of other sectors outside of the FANG stocks that just got beat up, and that is because, that's just the market. But the reason for the Nasdaq being higher than normal than the other index is just because of these FANG stocks kind of holding it up. Now, jumping into what happened this week, we had a lot going on. On Friday, President Trump had come out and went to get tested. Thursday after hours, Friday, the news broke that he had contracted it, and the market tanked by the Dow falling 300 points, and then it did actually rise throughout Friday, but it still ended in the negative by almost 1%. And 5-day change, this is, I believe it's our first positive week overall for the market in quite a while. So if we look at the 1 month performance here, over the last 1 month, the S&P 500 has lost roughly 4.64%. Oh, right there. 1 month change, 6.49%. So it's been negative for quite a while, week after week after week, just down to the downside. And that's along with a lot of these other indexes. So if we're looking at the 5-day change here for the Dow Jones is up 1.87%. And this is 1.52. So the Dow Jones did outperform the S&P just a little bit here. And if we look at the 1 month change for the Dow Jones, this is also down roughly 4.87% here for the same time frame as the S&P 500. Now the Nasdaq is one of the only indexes here who has, okay, so this is much further down than I expected. It still has a massive upside year to date. So over the past 1 month, the Nasdaq is down 8.14%, but over this past 5 days, it's up 1.48%. So it's actually behind both the Nasdaq and not behind the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, and that could just be because last week it did actually really well in comparison to the other indexes, and it just kind of taken a break this week, which is completely normal. The Russell 2000 was the worst performer the prior week, going down 4.03%. So it made some of it back this week, going up 4.37%. So it was at 1539. Now it's at 1539. So it did. Let's see, I don't know what it was at prior, but it was at 1474. So it did gain quite a few points there. Almost 100 points there on the Russell 2000. So all this week, all the indexes are pretty positive, with the Russell 2000 coming in first place, followed up behind by the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and in last place we have the Nasdaq. But it is still the number one as far as the indexes go for year-to-date performance. Now, jumping over, taking a look at the 1 week performance for this past week. What stocks were up, what stocks were down, what indexes were pretty strong, which indexes were weak. It actually pretty well mixed. There wasn't any one index that really stood out there negative, besides possibly energy. I do see some technology stocks out there that were pretty negative. So maybe if you're only focusing on the sectors, we can see that energy, Exxon, Chevron was pretty weak. And we see that some technology stocks out there were pretty weak. And that could be because the week prior, a lot of the tech stocks had been pretty positive. So maybe they just got a little bit extended and now they're pulling back or just kind of staying about flat for the week. So, but every other index out there, especially financials, look at JP Morgan up 4.73%, Bank of America 3.06%. So if you had been investing on the way down here these past 4 weeks, this looks like a good opportunity. This could be a bounce back this week into a lot of these funds. So if you've been buying, last week or are planning on buying this following week, this could be a good time to look for some good deals out there that had been created during this past month. And now as stocks begin to rebound slowly, or it could still fall, we don't know with the news out there, this could be a good opportunity, better than it was 1 month ago. You're still getting a lot of discounts in comparison to the price 1 month ago. So that's what's out there. There isn't any big stocks out there that, sort of just stand out. Everything is pretty well mixed in green in the other sectors. Now, oil this week is continuing to move to the downside by 7.5%. I'm going to go ahead and exit. There we go, like that. I didn't want to have it too zoomed in because I want to be able to take the fund in and the change for the week. So, USO, this is the United States Oil Fund, is down by 7.05%. We have the dollar, which is the other indexes were moving higher, and the dollar had moved lower. So it started this week at $94 or $94.55 and trended down to $93.81. So it almost lost about $1 worth there within the US dollar index. Silver this week went up positive. Last week silver had been hit the hardest. Silver had gone down a whopping 16.66%. So that was a huge hit to silver. It did make some of it back, but 3.83% after losing nearly 17% isn't a very big recovery, and that's fine. We don't want silver shoot up into the skies again. Gold this week up 2.06. Bonds. So if you are holding some bonds in your investments, you had an ex-dividend here on the 1st of October, and it's payable here in the future. I believe it comes out around the 15th. And the 5-day change here for the bonds is down 0.14%, with the indexes kind of finally popping off. The dollar moving higher. I believe it was higher, right? The dollar had moved lower, so that brings your yield, the price of money, higher. That brings us lower. Kind of interesting little mix there. I would have thought that this would have moved higher, but again, we can't always predict or see the trend. So this is just down slightly at 0.14%, not a big deal there. And we have our 10-year rate at 0.7. I believe last week I was at 0.66. So the 10-year bond rate was at 0.66. It is up by 4 basis points right now, from 0.66 to now 0.7. So I think this is a little bit healthier than it has been in the past. So we might see the market begin to kind of stabilize a little bit. I'd like to still see the 10-year bond rate go over, or the 10-year rate go over 1%, but I think that's quite a ways out in this current market. And then our 30-year fixed mortgage rate fell by 5 basis points now to 3.05%. Pretty crazy, yeah, that 3.05. So still a great opportunity right now to look for a home, buy a home, get refinanced. There's a lot of opportunities out there to get anywhere from a 2.25% fixed rate to a 2.75% fixed rate. So right now, if you buy a home at anywhere in the 2, maybe 3% range, inflation is at that 2 or 3%, and they're letting it rise a little bit over these next few years as we're kind of battling through this current time frame. So there wasn't a whole lot posted this week. I actually took a bit of a week off this week as far as posting on Mondays. I will be back on Monday again doing my Monday buys. I didn't buy anything this week. I have a little over $100 sitting in the bank account in M1 Finance in order to make some stock buys. And my portfolio is actually positive this week. So the indexes were positive. Oh, Friday it was down by 0.96%. My Friday was actually pretty positive. I forgot what it was up by on Friday, but this week, there's a little shortcut for Monday. I'm up about 2.44% on the week, and that is because a lot of my most negative stocks, such as my retail REITs, had actually done pretty well, and they kind of helped push up the portfolio overall. So that is basically all I wanted to cover in today's video. Just kind of going over the indexes, what went on this week. There's still a lot that can happen and will happen here within this month going into the election. We don't know, exactly what's going to happen, obviously, because anything can happen on a day-by-day basis right now. But let me know down in the comment section below, what are your thought process over this next month into election? Do you think the market's going to get a little bit more up and down, it's going to be a little bit more kangaroo-ish, or do you think it's going to go pretty hard to the downside still? Do you think it's going to recover because of the downtrend that we've been in over the past month? I'd really like to hear your thought process or your thoughts down in the comment section down below. So let me know. Drop me a comment down there. And that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy this video, definitely go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified every time we release a brand new video, and of course, hit the thumbs up, make it blue. Let me know how you're doing, and that is it. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Bye bye.